here's the deal, right? These things are real problems, and we're solving that problem in a very straightforward way. You pick your patches, you pick your base hat, you rep what you love, and you come back for more patches as your interests change or evolve, or we drop hot new patches. It's really that simple. So here's an example. I was hiking, so I'm wearing my Get Lost patch. But I'm going out to a club later, so I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put my LA patch on. But I actually have a man crush on Tom Brady. So I'm going to rock my Boston patch on the side and represent both LA and Boston at the same time, because that's me and I'm an LA Bostonian. It's really that simple. And we've done collaborations across the board, and it works really great across a number of demographics. It's all about fan culture. Okay. There's the guy wearing a lot of hats. So, flexibility, that's the name of the game. So, Canopy is an interchangeable patch company with a wide base of apparel and accessories, and we're mission driven. We care about the earth, we care about the makers, we care about our customers, we care about causes, and we're trying to do the responsible thing at the same time. We talked about the solution. I'll go into that a little bit more. We've got a wide range of IP coming our way. There's the products that we design, the IP that we create, which could be about people's cities, maybe what they love and like. We also do collaborations, as we've done already, with street artists, with athletes, with musicians, with tastemakers, and we do limited edition patches for their audience. Additionally, there's a big world of licensing out there that we're going to be part of. In addition to that, we can do brand activations, as the one we recently did with Blizzard Entertainment, which I'll tell you more about. And we do that with a wide range of base products. This isn't a hat company. This is an interchangeable everything company. So you might ask, who's the audience for this? Well, over the last year, we've learned it's a really wide audience. Folks as young as 18, as old as 45, are really embracing our product across its gender and social economic lines. It's about fan culture. What do you love in life, and how do you want to represent that? So these are the areas that have shown the strongest potential that we're going to delve further into. Sports and esports is big for us. There's players, there's leagues, there's teams, there's all sorts of possibilities there. Similar with city pride, people love to say they're from, the city they live in now, the city they played in or went to high school or college in. There's a lot of opportunity in all these areas. In all cases, the fundamental is great design and selective retailing where audiences are already shopping, where they can find our product among places they're already looking. Here's an example of how this plays out with the collaboration we're working on with Major League Baseball Players Association. They love us because they look at us as a modern version of the baseball card. We can represent legends of the game, player achievements, their favorite causes. These are examples of the type of patches we can create for players at the college level, the high school level. With the new NCAA rules, things are looking really good. And I've heard from players in the NFL, I'd love to talk to you guys about this, not to be too controversial, but they're losing touch with Generation Z. How do we do that? Well, it's about personalization. It's about their affinity for the players as well as the league. So we have an opportunity to create that connection even stronger. I mentioned Blizzard earlier, and that collaboration is on the table. We did some hats and patches for their big conference 2 months ago in Anaheim. They sold out in 2 days, and they're now at eBay at a 300% markup. And no, we did not put them up there or bid on them. They're just up there hanging out, doing their thing. It shows the potential of what we're talking about. This is a Supreme-like sneaker culture play. This is about limited edition. This is about being responsible and being in the moment for what folks love and where their tastes are moving. So there's a lot of ways to look at our market. But fundamentally, hats is a $7 billion market just in the US. Backpacks is $5 billion. And as we move towards these sort of collectibles that we're talking about, that's a $200 billion market growing at a 5% clip per year. Over the last 9 months, we wanted to see what we had here because it's a pretty new idea. So we tested everything and we did controlled sales programs across multiple different channels. We looked at business to business, we looked at consumer direct, and we also looked at retail. And we found out they all work, which is really good news. During that time, we also went to the licensing route and we went to London in Europe, London as well as Vegas. And we talked to the biggest, most iconic licensed brands in the world. And we found out things are really exciting in that space too. They see what we're doing as white space. In merchandising, it's really hard to create white space. You got t-shirts, you got jackets, you got all your basics. But they're looking, how do they add to the bottom line? Well, it turns out we do that for them. So they're open to very friendly licensing terms to get into the game with us. And they're open to giving us security in that game, which is really important because we know what we're doing is very unique. So we've already signed some licensing deals. We're talking to a number of great properties and choosing which ones we want to sign next. We want to activate about a dozen licensing deals over the next year in a very strategic, sequential manner. For us, interchangeability and what we're doing is just the beginning of our innovation roadmap. We've innovated in everything in the food space and we're doing the same thing here. We're going to do other products. There's jackets, there's hoodies, you name it, right? We can create interchangeable products over time with all different audiences in mind. But we're also looking at it from a technology perspective. When you come to your website, you should get a personal experience with the patches that you're going to resonate to the most and recommendations that keep you coming back to buy patches over and over again. We're going to be able to do on-demand printing and creation, and we can integrate with some of the top wearable companies because they're already out there, the technology exists, it's compatible with our products today. Augmented reality, very doable. But beyond that, digital patches is really interesting to us. We heard from another pitch earlier about the power of digital. Well, there's already MLB digital bobbleheads floating out on the internet selling for hundreds of dollars. Why can't we have digital versions of our patches that people purchase as well when they get the physical patch? It's all possible with this concept. This is not my first rodeo. My business partner Jeff and I, as I mentioned previously, are co-founders of a ready-to-eat prepared meal company, venture-backed, that's moving towards $100 million in sales. We did some of the same things we're applying here. Subscription revenue, co-creation, IP, and we're curating it with sustainability and causes top of mind. It's in our DNA, and we believe that should be part of every business. So that's really important to us. I think that's it. I wanted to mention that. Some people ask, how do we get this idea? Jeff's a West Point guy, probably watching the Army-Navy game right now. But fundamentally, he's been obsessed with Velcro his whole life. And we realized that there's an interchangeable opportunity here, but we got to make it cool. We got to make it modern, and we got to make it relevant. And so we both wear a lot of hats. Our girlfriends are very happy that we don't have as many hats these days. But we saw a bigger vision here as we did previously, and we're excited to crush this opportunity. Along the way, we picked up some incredible advisors and team members, some of whom are in the room today. I want to call out David Meltzer. Many of you probably know him, Sports One Marketing with Warren Moon. I met him a year ago. The first day he saw what we were doing, he gave me his business card. He's been a text away ever since. He's doing a lot in esports. He's a co-owner of Splice, and he sees a lot of potential in our relationships there. Michael Catalano was Richard Simmons' manager. He's done over $2.5 billion in merchandise sales, and he's leading our licensing effort. Don is one of our advisors who's back there. He's been in a number of different businesses, and he currently has an esports company as well. Aaron, who does a lot of social media consulting for us, is over here. Aaron's worked with a number of different professional athletes and sports teams. We're also looking at ways to collaborate with Matt, who's right there. He spent 12 years at Nike in branding, working with some of the most iconic taste makers in the world. These are the types of folks that we're bringing into our orbit to make this happen. Bottom line on the economics is they're really good. Even today, we're above that 75% margin that's mentioned there, and we're moving closely towards 85%. There's a lot of different opportunities that compound this wholesale, B2B, subscription patches. The average order value is looking really good. In our retail environment, people are buying 2.5 patches with every hat. That's way more money they're spending on a hat and patches than they would spend on one hat. They see the value over time and they're coming back and buying more patches. So that's the basics of the economics, and we can go into more specifics if you want, but we'll be able to do price segmentation as well. The trend these days is to meet your audience and meet the channel. So if we're doing festivals, maybe that's one pricing. If we're looking at getting into a big box retailer, we might do things a little differently. But we're also talking to big retailers like Fred Siegel, luxury retailers, and we have products in mind for them. So this is versatile as we need it to be. So when we put what we've learned this year into the model and we look at what other top brands in the direct-to-consumer market have done, we feel very confident we'll be around $2.5 million in sales in 2020. And that's just with this one investment. And we'll grow from there at about 100% year over year if we don't do any more investment. If we want to invest more, we can do more. It's really going to be, let's see what happens and see where the opportunities lie. 1/3 of that is going to come from designs internally, our creative IP from our very talented design team. 2/3 is going to come from collaborations and licensing. Maybe with some of you guys in the room and some of the folks you know, but top tastemakers and music and athletics and street art, you name it, those are the types of folks we want to work with, and we want to put their point of view onto a patch. Everyone loves to ask us about competition, right? I take that as a compliment because it means we're creating something different and disruptive, and we need competition. But the fact is, nobody is focused on this. Nobody. Fan-focused, cultural patches of significance on an interchangeable platform. There are hat companies, there are merch companies, there are patch companies, but they're just not doing this, and this is what we are living, breathing, and sleeping every day. When we started Territory, there were about, dozens of other companies that were doing prepared meals. Well, they're gone, and we're the largest player in the game. So, our competitive advantage is building a lifestyle brand. There's nothing that you can do to disrupt the connection between a fan and the brands that they love. That doesn't get broken. Those bonds will get broken. That's what we're going to be doing, is building those bonds. And we're going to do that with the coolest collaborations, the best quality products. We do have patents pending we feel really good about, but we're not betting the house on that. We're betting on building a great brand. Just to sum it all up, this is way more than just a hat or a patch or an apparel company. This is about modernizing personalization. No one wants to iron on patches. No one wants to deal with sort of sewing. I don't know how to sew. What I do know is what I love, and I want the flexibility to wear that on my arm or my hat or wherever I want to wear it, whenever I want. And that's what we're creating here, is that instant gratification, being able to rep what you love in life. I'm going to share sort of some of our products with the room, pass it around so you guys can feel it and see it. But it's a really fun experience, and it's something that we're sort of building out into the world in a unique way, and we're taking advantage of all the white space that's available to us. So we're looking to raise around $750K. That gets us 12 months of runway to master the growth formula. How much retail? How much B2B? We'll figure that out in the next 12 months. We'll also figure out how to monetize each collaboration, all these licenses, and then we can decide what to do from there. If we need more money to further amplify it, that's fine, but we feel like that will get us into a profitable place based on all of our different models that we've run. In that space, we need that money for a couple simple things: inventory, digital marketing, and licensing deals.